Hey guys, back again to talk about True Detective Season 1, Episode 6, Haunted Houses. And this episode has kind of got some really good stuff about it, but also just a lot of meh stuff about it too. This is the first episode where I'm kind of a little mixed on it, really. And the show was doing so well. I mean, this is a fantastic show, and it's still a fantastic show, but this episode in particular is just not as good and not as well written as the others. Um, I know, like, on review sites and stuff, this is often considered the worst episode, and I agree. It's not a bad episode, and it's still a good episode. It's just not as good as the others. And we saw a drop off in the last episode of, like, just being not as good, but still really good. And this one does that even more. So this time around, we're focusing completely on 2002 and what happened between Marty and Rust, and we see that play out here. And it it's interesting to see it, but also it's disappointing, the whole thing that comes about. And honestly, it's very cliched and kind of just not well written. So, what happens in this episode? Well, we have Rust looking through old cases. He's still trying to work on the case that he helped have a breakthrough in, and he learned some more information about it that involves the Tuttle Foundation, which is based on this family, the Tuttle family, who are very religious and have a lot to do with politics in Louisiana. And meanwhile, while that's going on, Marty is again dealing with his family life, and he's doing really great so far. Everything seems to be okay, and then he runs into this girl, Beth, which he helped in one of the previous episodes, who was a underage prostitute. And he apparently helped her, see the error of her ways, and she turned her life around. And they begin having an affair. So this guy has went from one affair and fixed everything, and now he's doing another affair. I think it's just showing that people will do the same thing all over again, but it's redundant and it just feels very cliche, and as well as just kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It just doesn't feel like something that needed to happen. It's awkward and cliche. I'll think about it. I'll probably remember it later. But yeah, I just didn't like this choice at all. And then, of course, Maggie, his wife, gets she learns about it and ends up um, going over to Cole's place and having sex with him, which she discovers is a horrible mistake. And then there's this awful, awful scene with her where she's like being all proud and stuff that she had sex with Rust and talking down to Marty because Marty has been cheating on her again. And it's just I, I don't like her in this scene, and I don't like this scene. Um, the acting is still very good, of course. these characters feel, like real people. It's just the writing is very shoddy at points and just not as tightly written. It's kind of really, really disappointing. As well as, okay, this show has a problem when it comes to female characters. The only one that feels, you know, like a three-dimensional person is Michelle Monaghan's character, Maggie. But the other women just feel like objects and are just there to look sexy. And yeah, like Beth, there's not much to her character. All she talks about is sex once they start the affair, and it's just not very well done. Um, this episode's just kind of, it's all right, but very disappointing. I do like the confrontation between Marty and Rust. There's a lot of emotion there, and that's a really good scene when they're fighting because of like everything that's been going on. And I really like the ending scene where after so many years Rust and Marty finally meet up again, and they're planning on just sitting and talking for a little bit. It's a really nice scene, and it was the best scene in the episode. I think it was just very well done. It's character driven, and it's a lot better than the rest of the episode. But we're in the end game now. It feels like it's finally leading towards something, and I can't wait to watch the rest of the show because I love it so much. It's just sad to say that this one just wasn't as good as the others, but I still liked it overall. I just wish it was better than it was. Yeah, that's really all my thoughts on this episode. So, as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next vlog.